Hey everybody, welcome back. Hollywood Pizza here, and we got a special treat for you today. We've got a blast from the past, our first one, that's right. We have a historic Brawl tournament from November of 2021. It's going to be featuring HamHocks42 and Hearsayttv with some phenomenal commentary. And if you haven't, check out the description down below. You can see all the deck lists, all the information for the commentators as well, and my content too. So definitely check all that out, and let's go ahead and jump right into some games.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting matchup. So it is Kinnan versus Teferi. So we have ramp versus control. So it'll be very interesting to see if Kinnan is able to get enough threats out early enough, whereas it'll be very interesting to see if Geek is able to successfully counter and slow down the assault, which is definitely going to be the plan. All right. It looks like we are in. The game is underway. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I think in this case, I take the free mulligan if I'm. Although, I mean, the search for Escanta is looking.
I'm just a keep. Snap keep.
Really? Even with only 2 lands?
2 lands. You have the Arcane Signet that's going to tap for white.
Sure.
Search is going to find you lands. This is a snap keep for me.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
Like
whenever I see 2-lander with the Arena Shuffler, it just makes me nervous.
Yeah, definitely gonna make you nervous. But you have a filter, like with search. I think that I think personally this is a keep, but also I'm not a control player. But I think this is a keep.
No, I see 2 lands. It makes me very nervous. So I think a mulligan here it makes sense. I'm not opposed to that idea. To be honest, this doesn't. Well, Emeria's Call and Sullen Divisions are lands, so that does help quite a bit. But you're right. Now, I mean, looking at this hand versus that last hand, I'm not sure which one I'd rather have. Because this is going to be able to hit all the land drops, whereas the last one may have been missing land drops as early as turn 3, which definitely would have been painful. But the Arcane Signet does kind of ease that pain a little bit.
And I guess, like, mind you, you are going against Kinnan, which is a very fast deck, so you actually want to be very proactive or reactive to it.
Right. You want to have your answers up as fast as humanly possible.
Cycle this away.
Yep, makes sense.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, Doomscar's pretty fantastic.
Now, unfortunately, you're going to have... okay, that's fine.
Liberator? Okay, sure.
This is rough. See, this is what now you're looking for. This is one of the reasons, like, the double blue pips of control spells are always they just feel so bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Meanwhile, having the double white on board for Doomscar feels really good here. So we might see Kinnan come down.
4, 5, 6. 6 mana.
Is that enough? That's not enough to activate Kinnan, is it?
No, Kinnan's 7.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's going to attack with
get in for some damage. We still don't have the blue, but we can. I don't know if you want a Doomscar here. I think you just want to do this and foretell saw it coming and counter Kinnan when it comes down.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, keeping Chemister's Insight up was also an option, but I think foretelling saw it coming because it removes the 1 blue mana from the requirement is important here. Yeah.
But you're already looking at 13 health here. You're not looking really great.
No, I mean, at this point, you kind of have to Doomscar.
Now you have to Doomscar here. Oh, okay, cool. It's tapping the right mana. I get so like my heart always drops to the auto tapper. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got to hit the Doomscar. Hemp did a great job of playing around it. But in the end, you got to hit it. Woodland Mystic. Okay. And there is a 4-mana spell in Geek with a Beard's hand. Is that Day of Judgment? The 4-mana one in the middle?
I think that's Day of Judgment. It's definitely... I don't think that's Mastery.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that particular Japanese card style.
Yeah, I definitely think it's Day of Judgment. But now we have Supreme Will up.
Yeah,
Saw
Day of
coming. So
Judgment.
now
Excellent.
we can wipe the board here, and then we still have Saw coming. And now effectively we've countered Kinnan, and we've also board wiped it now, I'm assuming? No, we haven't countered Kinnan yet. Okay. Now we're gonna counter Kinnan.
Yep. Yeah, you see this coming. Yeah, either you see it coming or you're banishing a item next turn, but I think you see it coming here because it's just more mana efficient, and then you'll be able to play Tef next turn. Or keep Absorb up. Either way.
Still haven't seen another blue mana.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
Oh,
So
there
you
you
can't
go.
keep
Mystical
Absorb up.
Dispute. You can just play Tiff plus, and then you have Dispute up. If they go to cast Kinnan, you just counter it for 1.
Right. No, that makes sense.
I think this is that would have been a perfect point to cast Teferio. Nothing on board, so nothing's threatening you. You'll still have 2 counters up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because now you can walk into a counterspell yourself.
That's true. Well, there are those islands that we needed though, so that's nice. Yeah, and I think Geek is probably thinking, what do I do if Teferi gets countered? I think that's really what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing hesitation in that regard, and with good reason. Brazen Barber, put 3 power in the air. Definitely not a bad idea.
Well, you have the tip here. Obviously that they're holding mana up for a counter, but you have 2 counters in hand.
Right.
You have the mana to cast. Like, I think at this point, I guess you missed your opportunity. I would have casted Teferi, untapped 2 lands. Then it would have you 3 mana available to yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so there's clearly a counterspell because there's a check. Let's go get another island.
There's that delay. Yeah. And there had to be a reason they weren't just slamming Kinnan, right?
Getting a snow basic just to make sure you have lands for FOD.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. So now how do you counter the Tail's End? That's Mystical Dispute doesn't do the job here.
I think they might have Frilled Mystic, I think is what they have.
It's possible. Let's try to absorb the Tail's End, and is there a Frilled Mystic? They're teed up for it perfectly if they have it. Or good old counterspell. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, now the Kinnan player has a wide open shot where
they can just go off here. And that's what I said. They missed their chance of being able to resolve Teferi and be able to counter spells.
Mm-hmm. Ouch. And with that Reclamation Sage hitting the field, that actually puts Geek on a clock that... I mean, I'll be surprised if the Rec Sage sticks around.
All right, counter spells here, but then we have the Dispute.
Yeah, the Mystical Dispute hitting the Decisive Denial. So now Teferi resolves. Uptick like crazy.
That's a pretty good card to draw.
Oh, big time. Yeah, drawing a Swords to Plowshares here is absolutely huge.
Oh, just the scoopity-doo.
Oh, no. All right.
Skip the scoop phase. Okay.
Fair enough. So Teferi resolves, and that is enough. as enough to call it a day. And to be fair, Geek TV had a lot of great answers in his hand. So
Yes.
that was going to be tough. All right, this is looking good. Yeah, so the Teferi deck definitely putting in some work, making it happen. And onward to game 2.
Yeah, gonna go into game 2.
All right. All right, so Brazen Borrower actually did quite some excellent work last game. There it is, alongside Nemiria's Call and Seagate Restoration, to make sure that we hit those land drops. Shadow the Sky here also looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to say, I think this is a keep for me. We do need a second white mana source for that Shadow the Sky, but Chemistry's Insight can help get that. So I think I'd keep this. But once again, I'm not a control player either, so take that for what it's worth.
It's just one of those things, right? Either you're you're a control player or you're not.
Yep, this is true.
Let's see here. We got Shatter, Brazen, Chemistry. You got the lands.
Yeah.
I just don't think you. Oh, I guess you also have the bounce spell on Brazen too, so you can actually.
You can buy some time with that, yeah.
Buy some time.
Yeah, if this is me, I'm probably throwing Amiria's Call down as a land tapped right on turn 1. Or Seagate Restoration, either way, but I would probably throw Amiria's Call just because we don't have another white mana source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at this phase in the game, bolting that to bring it in untapped wouldn't really make sense. There's Kinnan on 2. Interesting. All right. Probably the Max Amber Overgrown Battlement. Wrath of God off the top is not a bad card here. But without the second white mana source, that is going to be a bit of an issue. So here's the question. Do you bounce Kinnan at this point, or do you let them untap first?
I think you let them untap.
Okay. And Geek with a Beard disagrees. Yeah, playing around the counter spells. Just getting Kinnan off the board for a turn. It prevents 2 damage, and it also ties up mana, so I can appreciate that. All right, and with that island, they now have Supreme Will, they have the Brazen Borrower, and Absorb all available now. So that's pretty nice.
And now we're going to be able to... Kin's going to come down here. And then they have 3 mana.
And there's Coma.
Oh, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My goodness. So now with Coma on the board, I mean, Coma dodges these board wipes very effectively. Can't dodge the Banishing Light, however, so that's nice.
So we have to effectively basically say, okay, Banishing Light and then board wipe.
I think that's the move. Yeah.
And then just pray that they do not have removal.
Yeah, if they have any kind of naturalize effect to get rid of that Banishing Light, that would be rough for sure.
I guess it'd be like Into the Royal or something on that line to be able to bounce a Banishing Light.
Yeah, something like that would. Yeah, something like that would be pretty gnarly.
Mm.
All right. So Banishing Light coming down, presumably targeting Coma. All right. So Kinnan chipping in for 2 damage here. It's kind of what you got to do. Now, unfortunately, Geek with the Beard is stuck on white mana. They only have 1 white mana source. Oh, never mind. Perfect top deck. Yeah, love to see it. So now the Wrath of God or Shadow of the Sky are both online, ready to go. And in this situation, I think Shadow of the Sky would definitely be preferable because this is the one moment when the Kinnan player does not have a 4 power or higher creature. And that may not be the case later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think a Shadow of the Sky is definitely the right answer here. Get Kinnan off the board. Get rid of the Mana Dork. Mox Amber's still live and online. Kinnan will be able to come back here shortly, but all the same, I think that is definitely the play. Also, notably, Hemp is down to 3 cards in hand as well. So that's something. So this does become a counter battle. They only have so much. Of course, they do have the mana to activate Kinnan. It's interesting to hit that prior to the board wipe, but who knows? There could be a number of different things they hit here. Potentially the Frilled Mystic.
Oh, this hit another Kinnan. That's the worst.
Wait, what?
Oh wait, no. They didn't hit another Kinnan. They hit they must have hit a copy spell. It's something that copies it. Yeah.
Okay. Glass Mimic. I was about to say they hit a Kinnan.
I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, grabbing a Glass Mimic to rock on. That had me confused for a minute, not gonna lie.
It's amazing that these control lists don't play Pithing Needle. Like Pithing Needle would just stop all these activated abilities and these lands.
Because Pithing Needle is actually banned. Yeah, it's banned.
Oh, that's right. It is. That's right. It is banned. It's banned in Brawl.
Banned in
that's right. Because you just shut off commanders.
Especially Planeswalker commanders. It just completely eliminates them. Yeah. So so Pithing Needle and Sorcerer Spyglass are both banned for that reason. But yeah, no. Otherwise, these decks would absolutely be running them. You had to be able to shut down Kinnan or Golos right out of the way, right out of the gate. Ooh, Memory Lapse, the Wrath of God, even though Kinnan is the only target. Interesting. You could the Beard very carefully setting stops on the opponent's end step. I can appreciate that. Make sure you get that priority. All right. Now I find myself thinking about pizza. And it results in dead air. Can't stop. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm definitely going to have to get some pizza after this. So Hollywood, you have that effect on me. Just be aware. All right. So Kogla, Titan Ape, coming off the Kinnan activation. So Kinnan is definitely doing some good work here. And Geek with the Beard now draws into Ugin the Ineffable. I think this is another opportunity. At this point, Hemp is sitting with only a single card in hand. Kogla can return Kinnan to hand to gain Indestructible. So that way Kogla would get around the Wrath of God, unfortunately. And Kinnan would get around it as well. Quite effectively, as a matter of fact. Okay, so Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, is going to be cast here. Let's see. And it resolves. Let's see. And at this point, if you tuck Kogla, I need to make sure my diction is on point here. It's been a long day, you guys, but it's been a fun one for sure. If you tuck Kogla, Kinnan would be able to just spin again and just pull it back out. But at the same time, you have to spend a Kinnan activation to get Kogla back.
I think you're just playing a game of keep Kinnan back.
Right.
Because you just can't lose Banishing Light right now.
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, like Kinnan spinning into a Reclamation Sage or something like that. Like that would be really devastating here. All right. So let's see. In response to the Wrath, Kinnan is going to trigger.
Go get Kogla. Return Kogla.
Yeah, return Kinnan to hand.
Or return Kinnan, and then Kogla gets indestructible.
Yeah.
Just a little combo wombo.
A little bit. Yeah. Kogla the Titanate. Again, we said it before, say it again. It's a good card.
Good card.
It's a good card.
Pretty good.
Yeah, rumor has it. It's a good card. Oh, and I hadn't even, because Kogla has so much going on, it hadn't even occurred to me that it, in fact, has the ability to destroy artifacts and enchantments. So now Comb is back online. Oof. That's terrifying. So now you have two huge beat sticks, one of which has 7 power, one of which has 6, that can give themselves indestructible. So even a board wipe doesn't do the job here.
Yeah, no, they're... I think this game is effectively over. I think we can skip the scoop.
I think that's fair to say at this point. And drawing lands off the Chemist's Insight, that's not going to do it. Yep. Boom. Ouch. Geek with the beard. Going down to the Kinnan onslaught there. It worked. It just worked.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
But we do get a game 3 now. We go to game 3.
I do love game 3s. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good game 3. All right. Very cool. Cool. All right. So looking at the rest of the standings, it looks like there is one match that has reported in. The Tajik Legion's end deck was successful in taking out a Azorius list, also running Teferi Hero of Dominaria as the commander. So the Tajik deck is still going strong, it would seem. So that's exciting.
And then we still have the Simic versus Simic. And then I think this is also Simic list. No, that's the mono white list versus a Simic list. Yeah.
Okay. So definitely Simic is definitely represented well in this top 8. No question about it. All right, so Geek with the beard going up against him.
Let's go. Let's go.
Mage. 1-1 so far. So far, they're undefeated in matches so far. So let's see if that can continue here. And by they, I mean Geek with the beard running this Teferi list. With the Mace Mind Tome in the opening hand, I think I would have kept that last one. But I can appreciate wanting to spin the wheel and see if you get something a little better. Fable Passage is nice.
Maze Mind Tome is just a good card for historic or for a control list, especially like if you're going against an aggressive deck like Kinnan does, you can gain some life.
Yeah, the life gain is surprisingly relevant on that card. I remember when I first read it, I remember thinking like, yeah, the life gain's whatever, but I mean the card selection is pretty good, and potentially card draw if I've got mana lying around. I mean that's pretty great. But I can't tell you how many games I've actually lost to a control player just because they were able to gain that, what is it, 4 life
Yeah.
off the Maze My Tome. It's shocking how relevant that is and how often it comes up.
Well, you can bring it right back into the game. It's the difference between dead and alive, right?
Oh, yeah. In a lot of situations, it certainly can be. All right. So Druid of the Cowl. In response to the Omen of the Sea. You got to love the in response, I'm going to draw a couple of cards, or I'm going to draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If I'm ever running like cards like Consider or Opt, I always hold them so that it makes it look like I'm countering their spell. Like it's, yeah, anyway.
May
Give them
I,
half a second.
does this resolve?
Does
yeah,
it resolve?
resolves.
Yeah, I'm just
Consider.
going to draw a card. Yeah. Yeah, but does it resolve? Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, quit groveling. It's okay. You're good. No, I'm kidding. All right. Playing out the Jawari Ruins of the land. I can appreciate that. Keeping Disdainful Stroke back. Because after all, this is a ramp deck. So there might be a legitimate target for that here in a second. And the Kinnan player now has the question of do I just slam Kinnan here, knowing that there might be an Essence Scatter or something of that nature? Or do I try to progress the board further? And they decide to progress the board further, which is not a bad play. Because having more mana dorks is never a problem. At least in the Kinnan list. And they go for it, which is not a bad call.
All right, so we have access to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana next turn. And with no board wipe in sight.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not good.
I think you have to commit here, right? Commit the Kinnan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't let them untap next turn with Kinnan.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Like Selendi Visions into a hoping into a board wipe? I mean, and they're naturally only attacking with Kenny, keeping all their mana dorks back. Chemistry's Insight, drawing 2 cards. I'm seeing a lot of good counter spells, but those aren't going to help against an activated ability. And we're a little ways away from the Sublime Epiphany, which could help.
Mm-hmm.
It's not out of sight completely, but it's not looking great.
I don't know. I just don't see. I think, like right now, they're going to activate Kinnan and end step.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have committed Kinnan because that would have taxed the Kinnan again. Taxed Kinnan again, making them cost 4. Because you're not going to put them in the deck. You're going to put them in the command zone.
Right.
You have the mana for it, and then you're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So like you're given more time, but you could have countered Kinnan on the way down. It just, yeah, I think Geek might have misplayed here.
Yeah.
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 Like luckily these hits are atrocious, but man, like what you're hoping here now to find a board wipe at the end of his turn, or didn't say his turn, but their turn.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what else could you be shooting for? The other thing I find amazing
it takes time. Like it's only a matter of time before Kinnan is going to hit a Kogla or it's going to hit a Coma. Like it's only a matter of time, and I think you're just wasting time here keeping these counter spells up. That doesn't matter anymore because you're not countering anything that Kinnan's going to bring out.
Right.
See, I don't get the commit here. You should have committed 2 turns ago.
Right. Yeah, I think at this point, going for like a Selendi Vision to try to dig for a board wipe would make more sense. Oof. Yeah, that Veil of Summer hurts.
Yeah, then you get Veil of Summer there. Oh,
Yeah, that feels really bad.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, it's just a misplay. I think Geek was definitely well in their way to win this one, but I just don't see it now.
Yeah.
Kindly activated ability. Yeah, I'm assuming you're going to try to return Kinnan.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know what else you'd bounce.
Yeah, I think Geek lost this game.
Yeah.
Not committing at the right time. I think lost it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because now having to Sublime Epiphany tap out on your end step and then pass.
Yeah.
Feels really bad.
Because now they just play Kinnan next turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's bouncing to your hand, it's not going to the command zone, so
yeah, so Kinnan only
two.
costs 2, so that's nothing. Yeah, exactly. And then with all the mana dorks and Kinnan's ability, they're gonna have plenty of mana. That's the other thing I find fascinating about Kinnan is they're doing all this on 3 mana.
Oh, and Snakeskin Veil.
Ouch.
Just for added injury. Yeah, this game's over. Game's over.
Yep. Which is a bummer for sure. Yep, an ECD can't target anything on the field yet, although that's a good answer for Coma when it inevitably shows up. Or Kogla for that matter. I mean, there's no reason not to play outfield here, right?
And you're just getting clocked with this 3 damage now from Kinnan.
Mm-hmm. And there's Kogla. Yeah. So that's going to be 10 damage next turn.
Yeah. LGGs.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely not looking good if you're Geek with a beard at this point. Although I think you're right. I think this thing was over a little while ago. Because right now the answers that they have in hand are great if you're dealing with cards coming out of your opponent's hand. But at this point, all the stuff's on the board, and the activated ability of Kinnan is very difficult to deal with because one of the cards he does not have in his hand right now is Disallow. Sublime Epiphany did the job for 1 turn, but it was only for 1 turn. Yeah, and Kogla's just, or Kinnan rather, is just nonstop value if you can't get him off the board. All right. Sphinx's Rev, Amiria's Column, Behold the Multiverse. None of those are going to do the job. You need a big bad board wipe, and you need it yesterday. Yeah, Amiria's Call something, I guess.
The board wipe's not even going to do it, though, because Kogla becomes indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
You return Kinnan.
He comes right back down. Now it gets rid of all the mana dorks, but Kogla's dealing 7 damage. The ECD on
1, 2, 3, 6 damage on board right now, but it's actually 9 damage. Is lethal on board right now.
Right.
Like, you're going to try to get rid of Kogla here, but there's still lethal on board.
Right.
Because you just adept the Incubation Druid, and that's 3, and then that's 9 damage.
Oh, sure enough. Not to mention whatever they spin into here.
Is that a Tyrant? Yeah.
Yeah, Carnage Tyrant.
Yeah, okay.
Oof. Yeah, that's big time game over.
Can I go back to Is It? Is It?
Ouch. Yep, that's Kinnan doing Kinnan things. That's exactly what Kinnan came here to do today. It was cheat in big creatures fast, and it worked. It was able to beat down the Teferi player there. Sorry, Geek with a beard. We were rooting for you. Actually, to be honest, I also find it really I find it frustrating that the problematic card is named Alrund's Epiphany, because Allrind, like the actual like blue mid-rangey card draw engine, I think is really cool. Like I really like the card Allrind, God of the Cosmos. And actually I play Allrind in a number of different decks, and I really enjoy that style. It's just kind of a fun, cool mid-rangey thing you can do. But the fact that when you say Allrind now, everyone just assumes you're talking about Allrind's Epiphany, because why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Like that's the meaningful card of the two. All right, so here we go. So this is Tajik Legion's End versus Tatiova, the Benthic Druid. This is going to be an interesting matchup. So my horse, the Tatiova deck, we've seen what it's capable of, which is quite a bit. We've also seen this Tajik list earlier completely slap around a Winota list, which was also looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was a great match. But at the end of the day, the Tajik list was able to pull it home. So let's see what this deck is capable of in this matchup. Curse of Silence being a potentially phenomenal one-drop.
What do you name though, right?
I mean, do you name Tatiova in this case? I think you do. I think you just named the commander, right?
You can name the commander. Commander becomes 7 costs. Yeah, it's efficient.
I mean, it's just kind of... Yeah,
I guess it's always good too. If you remove it the first time, then it's a 9 cost. Then it's an 11 cost.
Yeah, exactly. So it just adds... I mean, Curse of Silence basically just adds commander tax to your commander.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts, actually. Gingerbread and Self-Savior offering two trades. Neither are taken. Yep, there it is. Tatiova Benthic Druid. Boom. 7-drop commander. See, at five mana, she's a little expensive, but totally worth it. At 7 mana, oof.
Yeah, at 7 mana, it becomes a little hard.
Yeah. All right. So here, I mean, the Brutal Cathar doesn't have any targets. Yeah, I think Gideon or Tajik were definitely the right plays there. Submitting 0 because there's no sense in giving anything. Although, I mean, had they cast Gideon prior to combat, they could have given the Gingerbread lifelink or something like that, but that would have been a pretty minimal impact.
Mm-hmm. But I get a 4/4 indestructible right now. Okay, you can bounce it, sure.
Okay, yep. Brazen Barber doing its work there.
I don't know if I would have died. I don't know if I would have bounced it there. I think I would have waited until I had mana for Tatiova, bounce Curse, and then play Tatiova.
Okay. Not a bad idea there.
All right, no shortage of lands here, which is really, really good.
Absolutely. It's definitely what you want to see. Well, they know you have Gideon. I mean, at this point, is that just what you play here?
I feel like you have to. You know, you know that you have it. You might as well throw it out there. Give something interesting. I would say get something lifelink. Maybe Vigilance.
Maybe Vigilance. Yeah. There's kind of no reason not to.
Because you know they're not blocking.
Right. Yep, going for Vigilante. Nothing wrong with that.
Down to 19.
Successfully applying pressure. Growth Spiral, very powerful card. Notably, they did not hit a land after the Growth Spiral, so they are cracking the Evolving Wilds.
So no land in hand and no land in the draw.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a landfall deck like Tatiova, that's not what you want to see. Yeah, you'd much rather be flooded than screwed in that
Ghost
situation.
Quarters is pretty hurtful here, especially where killing doing off the den.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, so Ghost Quarter hurts, but the question is, do you sacrifice Ghost Quarter to kill the den now? I mean, I think you sit on it, right? Because it's also your 5th land drop. And Ghost Quarter, unlike Field of Ruin, does not allow you to replace it. It's just gone if you sack it.
Mm-hmm.
The other player gets to search for land, but you don't. But to be fair, Field of Ruin also has an activation cost associated with it, whereas Ghost Quarter, you just need to tap it. So, Samaru, Hound of Conda. Love that card. Such a good doggo.
Indestructible.
Yeah, Indestructible is probably the right call here.
Make Gingerbrute unblockable. Pump up Gingerbrute.
Yeah, you definitely pump the Gingerbrute here.
Nice, make him unblockable. I would have made him unblockable.
Yeah, I probably would have as well. But at the same time, chances are they're not going to block.
All right, so now you put out your doggo and then skewer.
And you just skewer face here, right?
Yeah, I'd skewer face 110% right here. I guess you can maybe skewer the brewer, the brazen bower, but you put them to 6 and then you already have that much damage coming through. Yeah, because of this.
Ouch. That hurts. Yeah, now what sequence do you play these out?
Well, you're playing your Curse of Silence obviously out, so you can tax Tatiova.
You want to get Tatiova out of reach again. Yeah.
So I think I'm doing what's that? 1, 2, 5 mana. So you could do Curse, Ginger, and Tajic.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Watch the auto tapper. Yep, very important. Now that last one, yeah, Curse of Silence, absolutely.
You gotta love like the try to figure out the spelling. You're like, nah, I'm just gonna do this.
Yep, I've been there. Yeah. Yeah, with Curse of Silence or actually, I'm really grateful that a lot of those cards will filter down to ones that make sense, like Crippling Fear. I don't know if that's a card you've ever played with, but you name a creature type, and then all creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3/-3. And when you cast out Crippling Fear, the game will automatically give you the list of all the creature types that you have on your field.
Now, what do you choose to save?
Yeah.
I always save the antelopes.
Oh, the antelopes. I usually save assembly workers just because it's the top of the list.
That's lethal. That's lethal. Unless they have a counter, that's lethal. You make Gingerbrute non-block.
And then Shock
You can't
Skewer.
block it.
Yeah.
Shock Skewer.
No, you're absolutely right.
No, what are you doing? You have lethal. Draco.
You can do this.
Make it unblockable and swing. No. Oh.
It's probably going to be
if you
fine.
Don't win this.
This is probably going to be just fine.
I think they have a counter. Obviously, I think that's what he's playing around.
Sure.
But you got to play like they don't have it, you know.
Sometimes you do, yeah.
You're playing an aggro deck. You just gotta go.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to take those shots. I mean,
trying to figure out where the stops are happening, and it's the Tangle Trap or the Tangle Florhedron.
oh, Tangle Florhedron or the Ghost Quarter are also, yeah.
Yeah. I guess like you have lethal here, but if they don't win here,
Into the north, good card, but it's not gonna do the job here. All right.
not gonna swing. I don't know
So
why you
let's
don't
see.
swing
So
here
they
because it's
choose
not like
to.
Brazen.
Yeah, Brazen Borrower can't block ground creatures, so they might as well attack with that. And here we have the Shock Skewer combo available yet again. Now let's see how they decide to sequence this. Attack with the squad. Because 4 damage is getting through regardless. So it they didn't need to make Gingerbrute unblockable here.
And now you have 2 spells. Well, 1 spell kills them, so you see if they.
You take it. You see if they take the shot for sure. And that's game.
Still get the win, but you just did it in extra steps. I don't get the extra steps.
It's all good, man. It's all good. You know, they were playing around a counterspell. Had they overextended there, they might have had to pay for it. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right.
All right, get into the game 2.
Onward to game 2. Let's go. Man, that was all game 1. That was a good game.
And I think the Curse of Silence definitely pulled the win there, being able to tax Tatyova there.
No, I think you're exactly right. Being able to prevent the engine from coming online earlier. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben in the opening hand. That's not one you're mad to see. So they play with Fire Spear and All Seed of Life's Bounty. Interesting. They choose to keep this. Yeah, and I can't blame them because, 3 land, good 1-drop, good 2-drop, and some burn spells to deal with, removing mana dorks and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Definitely not a bad situation to be in. All right.
So what do you like more? Do you like the original Thalia or the reprint Thalia art?
Though that's a good question. I think I like the original Thalia. I just have a soft spot for it. But I mean, the new one is a fine piece of art. There's no question about it. How about you? What are your thoughts on that one?
I think I like the new one. The new one looks like, it's kind of intimidating.
Okay. And actually, the use of shadow is really cool, and the background. Like when you first glance at it, you just see like, oh, she's kind of like at a stance, and then you see the handprints on the window behind her. It's like, oh, never mind. That's actually anyway. No, I can appreciate that. It's really quality artwork, no question about it.
Draga finds the Gingerbrute again.
Okay, so there's the Gingerbrute. Grim Lavamancer is also live and online.
Oh, this feels so bad. Tatyova's 1 card in hand. What? How did this happen? You ramp?
Yeah. Well, that's the power of those burn spells. Yeah, play with fire, getting rid of the root coil creeper is definitely meaningful there. Now, unfortunately, the Dryad of Legion Grove does have 4 toughness, so they're not going to be able to deal with that.
Now, here's the thing. Do you swing and see if they block, and then you can skewer?
It's an interesting prospect. Now, just go for the unblockable brute, get in for the sure damage. Nothing wrong with that. When your opponent's low on resources, take the damage you can get. All right, Tatyova is now live and online.
With the land, let me gain some life. Let me draw a card.
There it is.
Rip apart. Great draw.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna be able to throw Thalia here as well as rip apart to deal with Tatiova. Game's gonna take a second to load. There we go.
Oh,
Ooh,
I guess you can get both, right?
you certainly can.
I always forget that Dryad is an
Enchantment
enchantment.
creature. Yeah, I definitely forgot that as well. I know you can cast that with the Spectacle Cost to get rid of Tatiova. Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Very great line. Great line.
Yep, absolutely. And right there, that was a big brain play that yeah, that's where we're in the booth. Or at least that's why I'm in the booth. All right, Tatiova back again. I'm not sure what, so oh, Spikefield Hazard followed by the Grim Lavamancer.
I keep forgetting the Grim Lavamancer is any target.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
That's rough. Now this game's over. 1, 2, 3,
It's a
4,
little
5,
early.
7.
It's a little early to call, I think, but you're not wrong that yeah, at this point the Tajik player definitely has a very considerable advantage.
Well, I see it as over because you have Tadra coming down next turn. You have Thalia, so that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage that's coming at you next turn. And you
Sure.
only have one card in hand. Your commander's at 9 mana, which you don't have for another 2 turns.
Assuming you hit both land drops, which is not a given, yeah.
Yeah. So I think like your out right now is like you could play Coma. That's
Yeah,
a good
Como would be
blocker.
good here. Yeah, Como would do the job. There's also like River's Rebuke or something like that could help. But even then, it would just kind of slow it down a little bit.
I need to slow it down, but it's like, Grim is 1 mana, Gingerroot's 1 mana, Elseed's 1 mana, Thalia's 2.
And Tajik's 3, yeah. Finale of Devastation. Interesting.
Is a good card. It's a good draw.
Yeah, it's not bad. They can hit.
What do you get at a 4 drop though? What are you getting at a 4? Ewit, grabbing.
Okay, Timeless Witness grabbing. Back Finale of Devastation. Nice. So you get a blocker for a turn, and you'll be able to get something bigger next turn. Okay, I can appreciate that. That's a fun line for sure. And Grim Lavamancer just going immediately after the Timeless Witness. All right. Yeah, and the Tajik Mentor buffing up the Ginger Brute.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely a sizable attack. And they're just going to do it again. All right, so now the Finale Devastation can grab a 6-drop.
Yeah, my art deck style. You're hilarious, Selfade. 1, 2, 3. So devastation for 5. Grabbing Ashaya. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what a nailed it! Nailed it.
Very nice. Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, so Yawgmoth deciding to go all in here because Ashaya has only one blocker after all. Makes sense. It's one sizable blocker, but
I see them blocking either the land, yeah,
the
the land or
land or
Tedgy, but
yeah.
you have a land in hand, so you don't really mind about the commander tax.
Right.
And now you have lethal in the air.
Right. Well, they need 1 more mana in order to activate the Cave of the Frost Dragon. It does cost 5 to activate, but still.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that's 5.
They have lethal on the ground if there's no
River's Rebuke.
Yeah, River's Rebuke or anything of that nature.
All right, what do we got in hand that we're
Looks
trying
like
to
there's
figure out what
something.
mana?
Yeah.
Got 8 mana, technically got 9 mana with a Shia.
Scape Shift. Okay, interesting. What do you go grab? I mean, Field of the Dead?
Probably Field of the Dead. You're going to create a bunch of blockers.
Yeah.
Almost killed a Shia, though.
It's true. Yep.
How many lands did they stack, though? It was, what, 8?
I believe so, yeah.
8 lands, so go get 8 lands. Hey, SFA, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So you get Field of the Dead. You're going to get some snow lands, I guess. You'll probably get World Tree. If World Tree's in there.
Okay. That's that fit. You got it. All right. Yep, there's Field, sure enough.
All right, so you create 8 blockers.
Yep. Gain 1 life, scry 1. Nice additional value, but yeah, those 8 blockers are really where it's at.
Land off the top is lethal. Oh, well, yeah, I guess you can swing in.
So you can swing in with, you have the Ginger Brute and Tajic. And Tajic mentors the Ginger Brute because the Ginger Brute's unblockable.
And then Grim Lavamancer, right? Can exile 2 cards out of the library and then or out of the graveyard, and
out
it's
of the
2
graveyard,
damage,
2
right?
damage to any target. Yep. So a whole bunch of zombies are going to block Tajic just in case of buffs, but it just doesn't matter.
Boom, boom, boom.
Pew pew. All right. And Grim Lavamancer does the job. All right.
That was a good game. Good game.
That was a good game. Absolutely.
Pizza people, are you enjoying the content? Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit that bell icon as well. That way, anytime any of our new content comes out, you're able to see it right away. Hey, leave a comment down below as well. Tell us what you're going to play in the next event, or tell us what you're enjoying about the video. Don't forget, check out the description too. We've got tons of great content down below. And on top of that, we're going to have our tournament schedule too. So get in on it. Hope to see you.
The goal of Kinnan is going to be to stabilize, use the mana dorks appropriately as blockers where needed, but ultimately save them back and cast out just huge haymakers and go crazy in the mid to late game. So this is going to be very interesting to see. So can the Tajic early game slugfest bring it home?
Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's do this thing.
This is a pretty great hand. Great start. You have a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. You have removal.
Yeah, it's looking good for sure. And any opening hand with a command tower in it, you know, I'm gonna give it a second look for sure. I'm not, I'm not gonna kick it out of bed for eating crackers
for this.
For the 2/2 right away.
Yeah, I don't know if I tap out for this because I think Kinnan's coming out right now.
Well, you've got the lightning bolt and swords in hand for next turn, so I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, so they throw Kinnan out here.
But now they'll have the you get rid of it now. Well, I guess you drew the sword, so it's fine. But I'm saying like basically you gave them value, right? Like, basically, Moxhammer wouldn't have tapped for anything.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, fair enough. But using the swords immediately to get rid of the mana dork. But Isumaru is capable of producing some early pressure, which I can definitely appreciate. Ooh, Earthshaker Kenra. And the question, does it resolve? All right, so far the aggro plan looking okay.
Looking great. Looking great.
Yeah. So the Kenra itself cannot block this turn, but frankly, who cares?
Yeah.
All right. And then Sky Marcher Aspirant comes online. Again, a casual 2-1 for 1.
2-1 for 1. That gets flying when you have City's Blessing. For those who don't know City Blessing is if you control 10 permanents, you get the City's Blessing.
Yep, and once you have the City's Blessing, you retain it for the remainder of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any card with Ascend on it is leveraging that mechanic. That was from Ixalan, if I recall correctly.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So Kinnon's back. Mox Amber now taps for 2 again. Let's see, do they have any kind of follow-up, or are they keeping mana back for counters? Going for Druid of the Cowl. All right.
Oh, this is pretty...
You just Frostbite Kinnon and swing with the team, right?
Yeah, you Frostbite, swing with the team. I think they're trying to figure out if they're going to cast Todrick right now. Tajik.
Right. The Brutal Cathar of the Druid of the Cowl. Actually, that's an interesting call because now he puts the onus on the Kinnon player. Do you block this or do you take 6?
Yeah.
And of course you don't block it because, yeah. Because you definitely don't want to do that. Because Frostbite right now does only deal 2 damage because there are only 2 Snowlands on the field at the moment. Ixbloom Ancient, that's a card.
I mean, that's a card.
Yeah.
And that's a good blocker right now.
It sure is. Wow, that got out of hand.
All right, so you don't cast any spells.
Yep, so it switches to nighttime.
You don't cast any spells here, so it switches back. No, yeah. Does it switch back to daytime if you don't cast any spells?
It switches back to daytime if the player whose turn it is casts 2 spells. So whoever's turn it is, they need to cast 2 spells. So in this case, if Yawgmoth waits, they can double cast on their turn, like a Grivelon. Well, if they draw into a red mana source, they'll be able to double spell. Otherwise, they won't be able to. And then pass, and it would then turn to daytime on the opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm. And you can activate Kinnon twice here.
Oof.
Hey, Zabricus, thanks for the raid. Welcome in.
And welcome, Raiders. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are enjoying the finals of the Pizza Brawl Cup on this fine Sunday evening. And we're having a grand old time, not going to lie.
We're having a great old time. I guess you have the Mind Flayer, so I'm going to take control of it here. And that would be... No, that's an activation. So they can activate it again here. Mind Flayer. What a card.
Mind Flayer is a heck of a card.
Just like that, the game's turned around.
Yeah, completely.
You gotta kill Kinnon when you can.
Absolutely. That seems to be the moral of the story. Take out Kinnon when you get the opportunity. Yep, a little late now, unfortunately. I mean, I get that it's what you got to do, but yeah, and that Ixbloom Ancient is a house. That card is absurdly powerful. It's expensive, but my goodness, you get what you pay for.
So we kill Kinnon here.
Or not, just kidding.
Oh, no, and then they have the negate to protect. Woo.
Yep, that's all she wrote.
Call this one too.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep. The Magic player agrees. That is that. Go onward to game 2.
Go to game 2.
All right.
Well, With that being said, welcome in, Raiders. We are playing the historic Brawl Cup here at Hollywood Pizza. We'd like to thank our sponsors, the comic book store. They have a website. Should hit that up. So it's thecomicbookstore.tcgplayerpro.com. Show some love.
Absolutely. Check them out for all your magical needs, tabletop gaming supplies and whatnot. Yeah, very cool. All right, so this is game 2. So in game 1, Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy, pulled off some pretty powerful shenanigans and was able to take it home. No real surprise there because Kinnan is a very powerful card. We all are aware that Kinnan is one of those go-to commanders for a very good reason. It's an incredibly powerful, incredibly potent little guy, and as a result, well, we saw what Kinnan was capable of doing there, because not only does Kinnan ramp you by doubling your doubling the production of all your mana rocks and mana dorks, but additionally, Kinnan also gives you a perfect mana sink in its activated ability. And so they were able to use Kinnan's activated ability there to cheat out some pretty gnarly creatures. Mind Flayer being a very notable inclusion there, notable hit. Frostbite the Incubation Druid, not a bad idea.
I was really hoping for the Mana Tithe. Not gonna lie to you. I really wanted that Mana Tithe to come out.
That's fair.
Naming human on unclean territory.
Okay. Yeah, interesting choice, because so there's a little opportunity cost here. By playing Redain, you get some really good value. However, the opponent is not playing Snowlands, therefore that aspect of Redain is not going to be a factor, because Snowlands would normally come into play tapped when Redain is on the field, or Snowlands your opponent controls come into play tapped. However, that's not going to be relevant here. But all non-creature spells with mana value 4 or greater cost an additional 2, which is pretty meaningful, potentially. Although in Kinnan, in a Kinnan deck, a lot of those big spells are going to be creatures. Dragonkin Berserker, interesting choice. But this keeps their Mana Tithe open.
Yeah, I think Mana Tithe isn't gonna be I don't think it's gonna be a factor now. I think Kinnan comes down, and like you can pay the mana. You still have you're gonna have double colorless. But one of the fun fact is, though, we have Lightning Strike and we have Faithful Absence, so we had the removal for Kinnan.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
And like the biggest way about this deck is that you just need to make sure that you can kill Kinnan on curve. If Kinnan's going to hit the field, can you kill it right then and there?
Right. Yeah, because you can't allow your opponent to untap with Kinnan. That's just not an option.
And like right now, this is such a dangerous time right now because you want to be aggressive and get in there for the damage. But do you tap out to continually put threats on the board when Kinnan's just right there to be casted?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's definitely an interesting situation to be in. Yeah, I suppose you throw the Kitesail Cleric. It's an additional 1 power that can, chip in for a little bit more damage. And it leaves you mana back for Lightning Strike and Fateful Absence. So I guess that's about as good as it can get. All right.
So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana available. If Kinnan comes down, it's 1, 2. Oh, brutal!
Oh my goodness!
Brutal.
Okay. So here comes Cogla the Titan Ape. Yeah, fighting Redain probably. Ouch. Yeah, that hurts. Lightning Strike the Druid of the Cowl is kind of a consolation prize. And they do have an opportunity to Fateful Absence Kogla here.
And now River Park can destroy the Mind Stone.
That's true.
But I think you're gonna absence here the Kogla.
Right, because that gets rid of a blocker and a very powerful attack on that's gonna be coming back at you.
And the fact that you can return Kinnan to hand and then make it indestructible.
Yeah, exactly. That combination is insane. So that could be a huge problem.
You do get a clue, so there's card draw there. So you can tap the Mind Stone for 2, get a card.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Father drew another white source.
Excellent. So now Rip Apart can also go after Kinnan here. They're 1 mana shy. If my math serves, they're 1 mana shy from activating Kinnan here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope.
Oh,
because mine's on taps for 2.
I know mine's on taps for 2. I'm looking at the mana they have untapped at the moment.
Oh, untapped right now. Yeah.
Yeah, at this moment.
I thought you meant it in total.
Oh, no. Next turn they'd absolutely be able to do it. Ooh, counterspell on Rip Apart, and the Mana Tithe is just sitting in hand and being not particularly effective. Chipping in for a little damage here is not nothing, but Kinnan's going to get a chance to untap. That's scary.
Kinnan's going to untap.
Yeah. That could be dangerous.
And we get a draw here.
Ruko Creeper. Okay.
Jinx, Coco Jinx, you owe me Coke?
Oh, man.
You can send it through the mail.
Okay, sounds good.
And the shitty thing that right now, the Archon of Emeria, that it does, like, it wants to stop decks that continue to spell off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Kinnan doesn't cast, so it's just like the Archon's just sitting there.
Yeah, Archon of Emeria would not accomplish nearly as much as they want right now. But the Dragonkin Berserker is going to get an opportunity to boast, so that's something. Dragonkin Beelzer unsubstantiate the token. Ouch, that hurts.
Well, let's see what kind of shenanigans Kinnan can do right now.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, between the Ruko Creeper and the Mind Stone, they've got plenty of mana to work with.
Oh my goodness.
There's Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. Fortunately, Vorinclex's ability to tap down the opponent's lands does not impact lands that are already tapped when Vorinclex enters the battlefield. But that's cold comfort if you're the Tajic player here.
I think my channel points were well spent.
It would seem that way. Yeah, Kinnan is proving his mettle here. It's a powerful commander without a doubt. And my goodness, when you can ramp that hard, you can do really powerful things, it turns out. Yep. And Klex is going to tap those down. And tap that one down as well.
I think Draconis is just feeding them to the wolves.
At this point, it's kind of chipping in for whatever damage they can. Yep. Ouch.
And you're tapped down for a turn.
Vorinclex is going to be swinging in, and then Kinnan is going to grab yet another creature off the top, so who knows what that's going to be.
Oh my goodness.
Even before combat, let's see. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a scoop. That's a scoopable moment.
Yeah. Oh, man. But you know what? Great game there, Hevphage.
Great game. Absolutely.
Great job.
Well played. Well played by both competitors.
Great job, competitors.
Well done. So that was the finals, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go.
Now, that was definitely some old school for sure. You can definitely see how far we've come along here on the PizzaBox channel and on our stream for our tournaments. I want to give a big shout out to Hearsayttv and HamHocks42 for just doing some phenomenal commentary as they always do. And I want to thank you, the viewer, for making it this far into the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, bell notification, like, and leave a comment down below. Would be greatly appreciated. We're going to be doing some more of these flashbacks here in the future, so stay tuned for that. And I hope that you stay cheesy.